Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we are hitting day 6 of our deep dive into the Major Arcana, and we're meeting the Hierophant. So we've just left the Emperor and his personal self-made authority. Now we're about to encounter a totally different kind of power, the kind that governs society itself. Let's see what that's all about.
And here he is, card number 5. At first glance, he looks like a pope, right? A figure of just immense authority and tradition. But his role is so much broader than just a religious leader. He really represents the entire structure of belief, of any belief system. So think about it from the Fool's perspective. This is a huge moment in their journey. The Fool has just left the domain of the Emperor, that sort of father figure, and now, for the very first time, they're stepping out into the wider world and running smack into societal structures, formal education, and all these cultural traditions. To really get what the Hierophant is all about, we've got to look closely at the card itself. Every little thing you see here is a symbol, and each one tells a piece of his story, revealing the true nature of his power. Just look at the sheer weight of his office. He's wearing a triple crown and holding this massive scepter with a triple cross. Now, according to the pictorial key to the tarot, this is not just for show. It actually signifies his authority across 3 different realms, blending the spiritual world with our material one. And look down at his feet. See those crossed keys? They are absolutely crucial. They represent the power to unlock what's called exoteric doctrine. That's a fancy way of saying the public, orthodox, officially taught side of knowledge. He is the keeper of the official story, the one who interprets the big ideas for the rest of us. And notice, he's sitting between 2 huge pillars, kind of like the high priestess. But these are different. Her pillars guard the path to the mysterious and the unknown. His pillars represent the solid foundations of the institutions he leads, the unmoving structures of organized religion and society. This image really shows us his main job. These 2 figures kneeling before him are being initiated. It's a scene of formal education, of passing down tradition. But this symbolizes any kind of initiation. Joining a church, sure, but also starting at a new school or even just going through orientation at a new job. So, all of these symbols point to this one central idea. The Hierophant is the embodiment of organized belief systems. He is the great teacher, the official interpreter of what we're all supposed to know. I mean, the name itself gives us the biggest clue. A Hierophant is literally an interpreter of sacred mysteries. His job is to take these huge, complex, foundational ideas and translate them into a system that an entire group can understand and, well, follow. And his influence is everywhere. We're not just talking about churches. Think about any group that has its own rules, its own rituals, its own way of doing things. Schools, companies, sports teams, clubs, even secret societies. All of them fall under the Hierophant's domain. He is the structure that holds the group together. And this is how he's so different from the High Priestess. The Hierophant deals with that exoteric or outer doctrine, knowledge that's public, official, and designed for a group. The High Priestess, on the other hand, she guards esoteric or inner power. Her wisdom is secret, personal, and something you have to discover on your own. Seeing them side by side really makes the difference pop, doesn't it? He's the public face of belief, the head of the whole hierarchy. She's the keeper of the secrets that lie behind the curtain. It really comes down to this. One is structure, the other is intuition. Which brings us to what this card really means on a psychological level. The Hierophant taps into our deep human need for group identity, for shared beliefs, and that incredible sense of belonging that comes with it. So if he shows up in a reading, it's often pointing to a situation that requires you to conform. It's asking you to follow the program, embrace a tradition, or work within an established system. It's about finding your place inside the larger group. And hey, that is not always a bad thing. There's so much value here. This is how we learn from experts, how we find that comfort of belonging, how we enjoy rich traditions. Following the Hierophant can give you security, a clear identity, and some really solid guidance from a wise teacher. But like any great power, the Hierophant has a shadow side. There's a very, very fine line between a helpful tradition that supports you and a rigid dogma that traps you. One source puts it really bluntly, saying the Hierophant can be steeped in dogma and superstition even at his best. And that's the double-edged sword, right? A beautiful tradition can become inflexible, and a deeply held belief can curdle into just plain superstition. So, if this card appears, it might be pointing to a real struggle you're having. Maybe you're feeling stifled by group pressure, or chained to beliefs that just don't fit anymore. It's that classic conflict between what the group wants and what your individual spirit needs.
This table lays out that tension so clearly. On one side, you have cards like Justice or the Three of Pentacles that totally reinforces values, rules, structure, teamwork. But on the other side, you've got cards like the Lovers, which is all about following your own heart, or the Hermit, who seeks truth all by himself. They stand in direct opposition to the Hierophant's group-first way of thinking. And that leaves us with the Hierophant's big central question. A question, really, for all of us. He challenges us to find that balance between learning from the wisdom of the group and honoring our own individual path. So I'll leave you with this to think about. When does a helpful tradition become a harmful cage?